What's up? Stephen Johnson, Jeevan Stonson, coming at episode 2 of Discipline Diaries. We're skipping straight to week 3. And I went from breaking like rules several times a day to I haven't broke a rule in about 2 weeks. Haven't hit a max loss once. You'll see in the Excel, me profit and loss, me data is looking really, really good, really, really scalable. The market hasn't had too many crazy runners. That does test discipline, but also for the fact that there not being any runners in itself does test discipline because you just start forcing things, and I haven't done that. In some regards, when you've got 4 tickets to play, when one doesn't work, you just fuck it off and go on to the next. So trading, arguably the best I've ever traded ever. Um, got one more week. If there's no fuck ups, I'm scaling up. I'll go from roughly like 150 max loss on a trade to like 200, 250 max loss on each individual trade. In a max daily loss that was 500, I think I'm gonna run it up to about 900. So if I hit it, I don't like take more than $1,000 loss in a day. And that means if I've got like a 300 max loss trade and I hit 2 or 3 good 3-to-1 risk reward trades, that means that 1.4, 1.5, 1.6k days, potentially even 2k days can start coming back, because I'm going to be honest, it's a bit boring. Like trading this, I don't want to be arrogant, but it's boring. If I fuck up again, if I fuck up multiple times, it's good to know I can always come back and have 3, 4, 5k months quite consistently, regardless of how the market is. But I've been trying to live this fucking dream for 4 years. I'm 2/3 there. I want to bring you with me. So let's just fucking get to it. Let's rock it, and let's pace forward together. I'm not quitting this shit until I've made a mill. A little over 1 month in from absolutely knowing nothing. $660 into 66,000. So I just want to very quickly just go over SYPR, because SYPR was the stock that like most tested me discipline. And it's an interesting one because this kind of pattern, this gap and crap on high volume, when it doesn't trade as much volume, and the floats, it's like a 10 million float. For me, that's not that low. You'd expect on this day, people would expect that, and this is straight from the gate, it's a high volume resistance short, like its win rate is like 90+%. And people would generally expect that if it couldn't run on that volume, it won't run on this volume. Keep in mind, we've got a pretty bearish market. The volume's 130 million, it turned out, but it was actually quite low in the morning, 20, 30, 40 million. That level of volume on that float, I've got like years of data that would that would suggest. And again, the data comes through with the guide. I'm not trying to sell you the guide. It's just a fact. I don't care if you don't buy it. It's long gone. But 380 to the 580s, this percentage increases. I think it's around. I worked it out just before. It's like a 60% or something like that. From the open to the top, it's about 60%. But this volume traded, this 130 million, normally a stock like this with this level of volume, you should see it topping at around 35%. So it actually ran. I mean, you should have been seeing topping maximum around here. Based on the 30, 40 million in the morning, you'd expected it actually not to break through this level. So it's, for me, it was a complete anomaly. I lost like $300 on it. Normally with high volume resistance, short me average win is like 5, 6, 700. So this was a great trade. It was a brilliant trade, simply for the fact that it was a complete anomaly. Yet I still lost less than every other trade when I win on this high volume resistance short. But the the real thing in this though is the battle of the new system, the safer system I've implemented in terms of trading, and of course, like, the old way I might have gone down a couple of thousand LPI if I wasn't disciplined. So the new approach to trading of like taking this push and risking higher day. I mean, I got stopped out here, then I got back in yeah, and we'll just kind of zoom in to make it a bit clearer. Like that's perfect. Like shorten the push, dumps. You expect it to fall apart. You get stopped out up here. You get back in because it ultimately it's a squeeze and it looks like it's coming back down. It does come back down, but then somewhere along the lines we get these higher lows and this kind of ascending triangle break. Ultimately closed off with like a nice kind of wedge and rip up. So you've got the ascending triangle, you've got the higher day break, you've got the wedge break, you've got the double bottom, triple bottom, you've got the higher lows on the daily, and like everything is saying that this is probably not going to break down when it's making higher lows at 11 a.m. It's not breaking down, right? That's not the dilemma. That's fine. Like I could see that there was a good chance of it ripping. The my issue is, and this is what I'm struggling with. I like this short. I'll do it all day long because it's a high volume resistance short with a high propensity to fail. I like this short as well. Um, what I don't like, or what I'm unsure of, double bottoms not breaking down, high low, kill in action. These are all very bullish signs not breaking down by 11. They're all very bullish signs. The issue is, do I get out and break the plan early, or do I stick to the plan because that's the plan? Can I change a plan mid-plan, mid-trade? It's a tricky one. I'm still figuring it out. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think I'm playing like a 150 max risk. I took two losses, like 300. Like it ended up being 310. So one of them I went just over my max loss. Took two 150 max losses and lost 300, but I'm still up like 1700 or 1800 or something. And even with the low volumes included, I'm up like 4 grand short in these gap as. So the system really works. I just need to scale up. It's just a question of do I change mid plan? And the other thing is, I was fortunate that I just put a stop in and went to me parents for a barbecue. Question is, would I have had a third attempt somewhere up here? I can't answer that question. And even if I did, it's like it would have been stupid and I would have just got stopped out again and lost 455 and had a max loss day. But even if I have a max loss day, like what does one max loss day of the month matter when every other day is kind of above 500? So pondering it, discipline, spot on, but it's just a quick analysis there. And lastly, I just want to kind of, yeah, you can see the high volume resistance short from the previous example. That's what I was talking about when I say I'm up 1600 still after that loss, and I'm up like 4 grand on the setups in general. I've got to stop showing 52-week high gap as fuck. But I mean, yeah, look, the month is very under control. This is the first time ever that me average wins are bigger than me average losses. I've always had like 90% win rate, but I've had like two stupid 2K losses. So at fucking last, I mean, we haven't had too many setups that really test discipline, but at last I've scaled right down, and I'm now in a position where me data really looks scalable as long as I can maintain and manage discipline, the $1 million question. But me data is very good. So again, the market's sucked. It's been terrible, but I can still pull out like more or less. Like I know that some of these zeros have gone down as win days, but it's no different. So like pulling roughly like 80% green, 20% like red or whatever on no trades, but average win is like just short of double me average loss. So winning 4 out of 5 days and me wins at double me losses. Like very, 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 very solid scalable stats. So then that's excellent. So I can after the end of this month move me max loss up from a 500 max loss to like a 900 max loss on the day, and then which is kind of decent size. It's like double. So like hopefully if the market picks up, that should lead us to a 12, 13, 14,000 month. And me max loss per trade, that means that me special setups can go to like 300-ish, 300 max loss. Some of these can go to 200-ish, 250. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully I'll get this right first time. Yeah, I knew that would happen. Switch them. So just very quickly going through how I'm trading. So, and I'll go through this quick, but like shorten to low volume, high volume resistance, whatever. I don't mind these ads because I'm trying to get me full size to risk off the 530s. So just building in size, like I'm finding size. I'm not like trading multiple times. Um, Come out a bit. I don't know about this. I should have just not bothered and just held all day. Again, stopped out short. Should have held longer, but it's fine. Just little trade didn't work. Riot, another long, didn't work. Short and pre-market, I'm almost going to stop because I can see that I'm taking losses that are, like that was $120 profit because I'd obviously probably took a $120 loss first time over. Like I could just sleep later, trade less and make more money. It seems stupid. This was probably the last time I lost discipline. Yeah, I think my car broke down and this was 2 weeks ago and I lost $468. Didn't hit max loss, but this was the last time I broke discipline. It's in my loss journal. It's about 2 weeks ago. So I haven't made any stupid errors in 2 weeks and I haven't actually hit a max loss yet ever. Near perfect. Patience, best friend, worst enemy. It's a tough one, but near perfect. Ambo, like absolute perfect. Shorten with risk, covering right near the lows. Perfect. Patience. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is really. Take Clove. Second leg. Alright, I tried to take this long, just didn't work, but it is a profitable strategy. Doing well on first red days on CGA. Sadly, I held this one, and Dan Irish gave us some advice after. Not the best swing, but I only swung a little bit. Still took decent profit on it. Another first red day, just taking a short. These ads again, like I don't mind these ads at all because my risk was green red, red green, whatever, and now my risk is like higher day. I'm adding to the winner and changing my risk, and I'm doing it beautifully. Super. I mean, not a great win to be honest, but it is what it is. Like $200. It didn't have much size in this at all, and I can't have much size because the green red is too high. So like obviously I can only short. What, like if my risk is 150 and it's my risk is quite far away, I can't take much size because your risk has got to compensate for your size has got to compensate for how far away your risk is, right? Nice, should have held longer on this, but it doesn't matter. And they're not big wins, but like it's tough because like what the fuck's $130? But again, I think I'm not sure on these, so like I'm like, all right, I can't remember what my original risk was, but I won't have much size probably. I didn't take much size because I just thought, all right, this is like, because I know I'm going to probably attempt these multiple times. Like this is the first time and it actually worked. A lot of these work first time. So sometimes I think I've just got to bite the bullet and stop being like, oh, I'll just take 100 risk because I think it's going to go higher. And on that next leg up, then I'll take the 150, 200, 300 risk because then I only lose 100 on the first attempt and I make more on the way down. Something I need to decide is whether I just go for max risk every time and just think if you lose twice, you're out. But that's something I need to review a bit later. But yeah, certainly recently, I'm not making the most of these trades because but then like, yeah, it's a tough one. On the high volume resistance ones, I need to go max risk straight away. On stuff with slightly higher volume, data says that you will get those second legs and before the fail. And for those, yeah, don't mind having a short, but not with as much size. And then again, we'll go a bit faster. Just look for the significant charts again. Very beautiful trade, perfect trade. Don't mind being a little bit late as long as my risk is adjusted for the higher day. It's not that bad. Like 650 for 680, took 70 cents. It's 2-1 or whatever. Very nice long. Market's been so quiet. I've started playing the higher caps. I love this. I'm actually profitable on higher caps. In long, I've been struggling with on small caps, so like play to your strengths. I'm gonna really be looking at higher caps all week next week. But the good setups, like the double bottoms on something that's been on a downtrend but due a bounce because the SPY's bullish. Like, again, stopped out, took it, perfect. Like I'm trading near perfect. I just need to size up and keep it going. And then we'll come to SYPR, which is the trade that was started with. Short, stopped, short, stopped, short, stopped. No, short, took some off. This is really good as well because I was short, realized I had too much size, took it off so I wouldn't break my max risk. And then fortunately it worked out because when I covered it, it was just a 150 loss, right? Because that if I didn't take that size off, it was going to be 200. So I realized, shit, I'm in too big, took some off. And that's the way to trade. Like I used to be getting caught in these, and now I'm like watching them thinking, hasta luego, motherfucker. And honestly, I would have, if I'd have been home, maybe I would have hit a max loss already, but if I hadn't, I would be all over this squeeze. And I wouldn't have gone all the way up. I wouldn't have lost all the way up. I would have just been hitting around the 520s, 540s. Or like letting it come down, first red candle, hitting like 540s on the way back down, risking 580s. And making a couple of bucks, I could have probably swung it because this will be red tomorrow. And that's a wrap. So if you think on the SYPR trade I should have stuck to the plan and took the risk, even though it meant losing, comment that below. And if you think I should have read the signals and got out earlier, comment that below. I'd be curious to see what you think. Otherwise, mad props to Jack Kellogg. He's like 24, I think now, and he's just give his parents 50k each. Beautiful thing to do. It's making good of the stock market. It's like it's eliminating the greed and turning the greed into giving. And I fucking love the kid for that. Mad props, and it's been great to fucking know him over the last few years and get advice from him. And also on that note, fucking another crazy motherfucking grinder. Dan Irish, like, so if you know Dan, like, hit him up and tell him I'm talking about him. Mad props to that guy passing the mill. He grinds it like no other. His technical analysis is like nothing I've ever seen. So mad props to that motherfucker as well. And then just some of the guys that I know who've bought me guide and then I've then gone on to become friends with. The likes of Clint, Shakas, Tom Irish, Bridget Zara, Heliga or Helisa, I'm so bad. Very nice girl who I chat to in as well. So I hope I haven't forgot anyone. Clint Mickelson, I think that's pretty much everyone. But anyway, like, just peace, love, and live the dream. And I really think that this is great progress. I mean, like, year 1 and 2, you like don't know what you're doing, and then you figure out some patterns, and then in year 3, like, I figured out how to make money in the market, but every now and then you develop some bad habits to compensate for your lack of knowledge and technical analysis skills. And now I feel like me TA, technical analysis skills, are really down across various patterns. I'm just adding different patterns to my arsenal. And it's just about managing discipline to have a scalable strategy. I mean, and now I've got that. So it's just about scaling it. I think big things are going to be coming, and I think in a year's time I'll probably look back on this video and not be a I told you so, but I told you so.